Hey there, Pre-Calc kids. Here I am, making a video for you guys with a fever because I can't help myself. Alright, here we go. Today we're going to be looking at geometric sequences and what makes them different than arithmetic sequences. Alright, so arithmetic sequence, we found a D, which was a common difference. Here we're going to find an R, which is a common ratio. So instead of adding or subtracting each time, we're going to be multiplying each time. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So it'd be 4 times our ratio to the power n. And let's take a look at what this formula looks like. So with geometric sequences, we're going to use the formula a sub n equals your initial term, a sub 1, times r to the n minus 1, and that works because n minus 1 at 1 is 0 and r to 0 is 1, and that gives us our initial. The common ratio means if I divide a2 by a1 and a3 by a2, they should be the same number. If they're not the same number, then this is not a geometric sequence. Okay? So there's a general form using g, but we can also write it based on previous terms as well. They're different but the same. Here's just a general form for any n. We'll get into it. Let's try number 9. Is it geometric or not geometric? That is the question. Alright, so what's 6 over 3? It's 2. Means I'm timesing by 2, right? What's 12 over 6? 2. 12 over 24, or 24 over 12. 2. So each time I'm timesing by 2. So yes, this is geometric. Yes. So a sub n equals my a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, right? Now in this case, my a sub 1 is my initial. So it's 3. Holy smokes. So a sub n equals 3 times, what's my ratio? Well, 6 over 3. It went up by times 2 each time to my n minus 1. Don't be doing this to me, man. It's been a long day. Ay. That's an n. We'll figure it out. Alright, let's try b. Alright, on b, negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. So I'm timesing by negative 3. That's also timesing by negative 3. That's also timesing by negative 3. So do I have a common ratio? Yep. My r is going to be negative 3. My a sub 1 is 3. That's my first term. So I can write a sub n equals my initial, which is 3, times r, which is negative 3, to the n minus 1. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to times by 5, right? Times by 5. Ooh, 9 divided by 5. 9 over 5 does not equal 5 over 1. So that's not geometric. There's not one factor that I can use to multiply to keep going up. Okay. Well, this one. Ooh, what's negative 12 over 48? That reduces into negative 1/4. Alright, so I'm multiplying by negative 1/4. Does that work here? What's negative 1/4 times 12? Ooh, positive 3. Oh man, Mr. Willigard, ratios can be fractions. You bet. So my a sub n equals my initial times my rate, my ratio, to the n minus 1. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, for this beast, I need to find... based on this information, I need to find a sub 6 and a sub n. I'm going to find a sub n first, because that will give me my sequence. So a sub n will equal my a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, right? So I need to find my r and my a sub 1. Well, a sub 1 is easy. It's my first term. So that's 3. Now what's my r? What do I times 3 by to get negative 15? Negative 5. What do I times negative 15 by to get 75? Negative 5. So my r is -5 to the n minus 1. So that's my a sub n formula. So to find a sub 6, I'm going to plug in 6. Okay? When I plug in 6, I get -9375. Alright? Alright. Let's try this one. This one's a little bit wilder. This one, they give me 2 terms. Uh-oh. And we have to find the geometric sequence. Oh no, this is a lot of work. So let's find r first. Let's find r. So remember, a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to n minus 1, right? So wouldn't that also hold true? I'm looking for the 11th term. Well, that would equal my a sub 4 times r to the 11 minus 4. So what I did there is I switched my 1s for 4s. Because I know the 4th term. I can plug in any of them. It's a recursive. I can do that. So a sub 11 is 1 over 16. A sub 4 is -8. I'm getting that from up here. I don't know my rate, and 11 minus 4 is 7. Okay. So I'm going to divide both sides by -8. And -8 times 16 is 128. Remember how fractions work. Equals r to the 7th. And how do I get rid of r to the 7th? I 7 root it. That's in your math menu. Hit math on your calculator. It has a 7th root or star root. And you can go in and plug in a 7. I don't have my calculator up right now. And when I do that, I get r equals -0.5, which is -1/2. So I found my r. Are you sure? Yeah. So now to find a sub 1, all I need to do is do a sub 4 equals a sub 1 times -1/2 to the, we're plugging in 4, so 4, 4 minus 1. Well, a sub 4, oops, I should just put it as -8. So I get -8 equals a sub 1. -1/2 to the 3rd is 8. So we get 1 over 8, negative style. So I multiply both sides by -8, and I get 64 equals a sub 1. Too easy. Not really. These ones are a little bit trickier. We'll do some more of these when I get back. You can try some though. Just remember, set up this equation, and it's a lot of algebra, but y'all can do it. I believe in you. Alright, this next one I'm going to need to use a trick that I taught you guys in geometry. We'll see if you remember it. If you don't, that's fine too. So we have radioactive decay. The table shows the amount of substance after 2 hours. So we know it went to 384. Find the amounts left after 1 hour, 3 hours, and 4 hours. Round your estimate. So I need to find my ratio to do this. It's a little bit trickier, but we're going to give it a shot. So 1 is in between 0 and 2. So geometric mean between a and b, is the square root of a times b. Okay? So to find the geometric mean between these, and that, so if I find the mean between 0 and 2, it'll give me 1. Or between 0 and 4, it'll give me 2. So to find 1, I'm going to do square root of 1320 times 384. I get 1.75. They said round to the nearest gram. So that's 712 grams. Okay? So now I got that. That's good, because now I can find ratios. right? So now that I have that, I can find my R and other such. So now I'm going to find my ratio. So R equals 712 over 1320. Right? We just divide them. So I got 0.539 repeating. Okay? So now we have an R, we have an initial, so I can make a formula, right? A sub n equals 1320 times my rate to the n minus 1, right? So then what I can do for this one is I plug in 3. To the 3 minus 1. I get 207. Then for the 4, I plug 4 into this equation. When I do that, I get 112. Okay? That one's trickier. You didn't know about geometric mean. Geometric mean is you multiply, and then you square root them. Arithmetic mean, you add, then divide. So it's a similar process. Oopsie. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Alright. Alright, they want to give you money, and they want to give you an annual increase of 5% a year. How much would you expect in your 5th year? So the first year, your A sub 1, you're going to make 37,500. Your R is 1.05, right? That's your rate. It's going to go up 1.05 each time. So my formula is going to be A sub n equals my initial times 1.05 to the n minus 1, right? So for the 5th year, plug in 5. See how many monies you make. What is this, a teacher? I plug that in and I get actually pretty close to teacher money. 45,581.48. Okay. Okay. We're moving right along, guys. Alright, y'all. This one's a lot weirder than other ones. So we're doing a Christmas tree. It's going to go down 10% every year. With 700 new ones being planted. Write a formula in T of n based on current number of trees, where n0 is 2020. So we know T of 0 is 10,000. So T of n is going to be equal to, well, it's going to be 90% of my previous term, right? Of T of n minus 1. I don't know why I put that in parentheses. You agree on that? Every year there's going to be 10% less, so there's going to be 90% of the original trees. But they're also going to plant 700. See what I did there? It's a formula based on the previous term. Using that, find it out for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to plug those in. So this one's a little bit trickier. So that first year, I'm going to do 10,000. So I'm doing T of 1. 10,000 is my T of 0, right? I'm going to times that by 0.9 plus 700. I plug that in, I get 9,700. Okay. Now for my next year, my T of 2, I wrote that wrong. I should do 0.9 times my T of 1. I'm plugging in my previous term. Okay. Which is 9430. All right. So then my T3 is equal to 0.9 times my previous term plus 700, which is 9187. And my T4 is 0.9 times my previous term plus 700. 8968. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm plugging in my previous term to get my next term. Okay, so what's happening over time? Well, every year there's less trees. There's a decline. I'll let you guys write that. Okay. Okay. That's where I'm going to end it today. I'm getting real sleepy. I'll finish example 14 in class with you guys, but you should have enough to get a good start on your homework. See you guys in the flip flop.